Welcome, everyone, to the Paranormal Pride. I hope everybody's had a good week and will have a great Thanksgiving week. That's my hope for you. And tonight I have a great guest. I don't see any sense in procrastinating on this at all. My guest tonight is Nick White. I don't know if you guys will remember this, but there was a show on TV back in 2015, and it was called Curse the Bell Witch. And what's funny is 5 years ago today, I had interviewed John Callick from that show. And so here you go. I got another one of those weird coincidence type things going on. And just recently on Amazon Prime, the show was put back on there. So you guys can see it now on there. And I have to recommend it. I thought it was really good. So welcome, Nick White, to the show.
Thank you. How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm happy to be home safely from a trip to St. Louis this weekend and seeing all my grandkids and most of my daughters.
Yeah, right on.
It was nice in St. Louis this weekend. They all got to go to the zoo today. It was a nice 60 degrees, which
nice. A lot warmer than here.
Well, tomorrow it'll be warmer there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 15 degrees 2 nights ago here. So
God.
Yeah. Sucky. I just gotta say it was sucky. And But you live in a beautiful area. Do you live in Sevierville, right?
I do, just right outside of Sevierville. It's called Dandridge, just a little bit, kind of on the edge of Sevier County, and it's just right at the foothills of the Smoky Mountains at English Mountain, right part of all the good old countrified stuff out here.
It's just a moonshine distillery away from the next moonshine distillery to the next one.
If you need some moonshine, you just let me know. I've got a storage building out here full of it. Well, my dad, he's armed security. He's done armed security for a long time, and he actually does armed security for Old Smoky's Moonshine in Gatlinburg, and he does that third shift. So if they end up getting some names misspelled or some of that stuff, they can't officially sell it because it's messed up. So they let employees just get what they want, and my dad's like, so the whole storage building out here is just plumb full of whatever you need whenever you need it. So yeah. Just let me tell.
The last time we were there, I was offered a job because I make liquor cakes.
So wicked.
If I taste a liquor that I really like, I can put together the different flavors to make it into like a rum cake, but not a rum cake.
Ooh.
And
I bet that'd be good.
Say when we have paranormal investigations, we will sometimes take liquor cakes or spirit cakes with us and have a great time with it. And so,
heck yeah.
In fact, I was teasing Ron earlier. I said I have that banana cream pie banana pudding moonshine in the refrigerator. I said I got to finish it.
My dad just brought a big old jar of that stuff home. I hadn't tried it yet. Yeah, everybody's talking about that. I was saying.
Yeah, I got the Old Smoky one, and the funny thing was the Sugarlands came out with one too.
Oh, right on.
I really should be on the Sugarland side because my cousin is Tim Smith, the moonshiner.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So cool. I should be over there. And my mom knew she knew Popcorn Sutton and Jim Tom.
Neat.
From all the bluegrass events that she used to go to.
Yeah. So, my uncle actually had got to get the recipe of that Popcorn Suttons and actually had made that at one point. And man, it's something else. If you want real, and it blew my mind because I was expecting, I was already expecting to be just some crazy, Everclear, just pure, just right in your face, nasty craziness. It ain't nothing like that at all. If you get regular, if you just go meet somebody down the road, to try their moonshine, yeah, it's going to be stout and it'll be hard on you a little bit. But you get a hold of Popcorn Sutton's stuff, and it's just just the looks of it looks beautiful, and then you just sip it, and it goes down just easy. It's a little warm, but it's got that great flavor. And I'm not even really a drinker, and I'm just and should have done that. I knew I made that mistake fast.
It's like the cherries in the Old Smoky.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and eat them because you're gonna I wanted to make a cherry pie out of those.
Have you seen the pickles? Did you know they are pickles?
Yes, I saw them. When we went, they had all of that, and of course, they sit there and they cut the pickles up to make sure that you get a pickle in your sample. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You won't get leg cramps. So, but yeah, we have. Yeah, they have a video of
no, not at all. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've got a video of me being drunk on the sky,
Skylift.
on the skylift there, and I took a video from that while we were up there, and I think
right.
It was about 5 years ago, and I still have people that see that video and say, "Oh my God, Denise was drunk." I made a mess in Five Guys after that. I swear I did. We go in to get something.
Right, heck yeah.
I couldn't get my
cup
up there to get the drink. There's iced tea everywhere.
One drink that day.
Yeah, we didn't buy one drink that day, but I was drunk as
Oh wow, right on. Now, Five Guys, definitely. I'm banking a beeline for some Five Guys as soon as I can find them.
The one there in Gatlinburg, they had really good service. I think that same day is when we ate it at Bubba Gump's, but that takes me hours to eat one meal there because I'll eat crab and I'm.
I get a big old bucket.
Yeah,
big old bucket.
I'm from Baltimore. I eat the body, and so
there we go. Oh yeah, me too. I eat all of it. Trying to get my light situation here. Sorry. I know if you notice, I'm listening to you. Sorry, my light up here went out, and now they're being weird.
Believe me, I understand. So my lights will go in and out, and makes people go, Denise is having spirit activity. It's like, nope, Denise
makes
is
it more
very pale white. So
right. Makes it more paranormal when it's dark. I wore my black dirt just for the occasion,
I mean, doesn't every paranormal investigator wear black at some point?
Yeah. Did you notice recently, and I've actually talked to a couple people about this, I might actually do this, but recently I'd put on a post up on one of my Facebook talking about where I was thinking about, putting together a series. Like everybody's putting together series here and there, some of them are good and it's cool. Everybody has their own style. But I have noticed that literally, say, 80% of the styles are your typical black wearing T-shirts. Everything's always got to be dark. It's always got to be evil or demonic, or there's demons and all this other shit. Which, yes, there's that stuff, and it's part of paranormal. But it doesn't have to be so prevalent. So I was thinking, let's make us a paranormal show where everybody just has a bunch of fun and enjoys, makes smiles on your faces when you're doing it. Go in. Even when I go on an investigation, like I don't go in going crazy anyway in the first place. Like I'll go in and I'm like, hey, how you doing? My name's Nick. I'm literally talking to these spirits or whatever's going to be there, just like I'm talking to you or somebody's walking into my house. So, I think that would be neat to have like a show a little bit more upbeat, and maybe even if you want to wear some bright blue and some, I don't know, whatever kind of bright cut, just something a little bit more upbeat, and see if we can't, do that type of show for paranormal stuff. So I don't know if people, it seems like people liked the idea, which I think it would be fun because there's another few that I because I watch most of my paranormal stuff if I watch it on YouTube, because I like to watch people producing their own stuff most of the time, because usually you're going to see the real stuff. You're going to see the real things happening, whether it's going to be nothing happened or something happened. And that's what I like. I don't mind to watch something if something didn't happen. If it didn't happen, it didn't, because as a paranormal investigator, you go out, you can go on 100 and say half of them you didn't see nothing. But I think it would be cool. I don't know. What do you think? You think it'd be cool to do like a little fun show and everything's going fun and being fun? Everything's fun, upbeat.
That's what we do. I mean, when we investigate,
bring a guitar, play a little bit.
Bring some spirits in the bottle and offer some to the spirits that are not,
right.
And see how they go.
I do it all.
We've done all kinds of different things to try to get some spirit activity. I mean, we've offered them money.
Yeah, for sure.
gave him a dollar bill and say, hey, here you go. It's a dollar, and some of these places, a dollar is a lot of money.
It is for sure. Yeah, I mean, I've done money. I've done cigarettes. I've done tobacco, of course, for if I'm going to any kind of Native American area. All kinds of cards. I mean, there's all kinds of random, just different kind of fun things like that. Bring it out and have fun with.
Yep,
I think it'd be neat. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no doubt. I think it'd be fun. I don't know.
It is, and I'll tell you a secret. I've never worn black to a paranormal investigation. I wear purple.
You're right on. That's my high school colors, so I'm right with you. You're good.
Here where we live, we're in Kansas. Yeah, purple. So everything in our town is purple because they follow the Wildcats.
Okay.
So everything's purple and same logo and everything. And purple's my favorite color. And I'm gonna date myself again. But Donnie Osmond's favorite color was purple when I was growing up. He always wore purple socks.
Yeah.
And I've pretty much worn purple as my main color for I don't know how many years. So
that's good stuff.
April has a question for you. I might as well get it asked real quick. Do you have any abilities?
I do, actually. I don't talk about them a lot, but I strictly rely mainly on myself when I get on kind of investigations. Majority of the time, it's different kind of stuff. I don't really call myself a psychic. I don't call myself one specific thing at all. I've been blessed with different kind of stuff, which it kind of gets a little weird on me sometimes, so I have to kind of just play it by ear when I go to these locations or where I'm at. Sometimes I'll pick up sounds. Like if I'm around people, like actual people, I can pick up sounds sometimes from them. I'll always feel whatever they're feeling. Somehow I can, I'll reflect what they're feeling. And sometimes if somebody say upset with me here, standing beside of me here, or not upset with me, just upset. And there's somebody right here that's not, somehow they'll end up getting a little irritated. So that kind of like the empathic kind of stuff kind of happens a little bit. When I get to say if it's a paranormal kind of stuff, I get this, if I'm near something that's not malevolent or mean or just a regular something out of the ordinary, my whole body, it's a chill thing, but it's like if you take an egg and you crack it on the top of my head, and then you could imagine that thing actually going all the way to my feet. That's what I feel, and it's just that same, and it's around the crown of my head up through here, and it'll move. It'll be like some tingly stuff, and then I'll feel it all across my body. Now, if it's bad, if it's like a malevolent kind of thing or demonic, I've only come across that a few times, 20-something years. So that's why I always say, man, you ain't always got to go towards the demonic every time you do paranormal stuff. But I get this really bad, sick feeling. And if it is demonic, I will throw up. I'll actually literally regurgitate. And it's the craziest thing ever, because when we were actually at the cave, the Bell Witch Cave, I got sick there. And it was really weird that they didn't show this on camera, because this actually had to do with the friggin' haunting that was in the cave. And when we came out of there, I actually had something latch on to me. This is one of the times that I'm embarrassed to talk about, because when people come to any lectures that I've done, or if I'm teaching about stuff, or if it's somebody on my team talking about stuff, the very first things I'm always saying is protect yourself, whether it be, even if you're religious or not, there's always ways that you can protect yourself away from unnatural things in the air or anything. So I kind of was too excited that I was on TV and forgot to do anything. I didn't do any prayers. I didn't even carry my stones with me. I didn't do none of that. So when I went through the whole cave, apparently something latched on to me, and there's a whole little story with that too. I'll get to that part. But if I get around in that, that was a time when we were coming out of the cave on one of the, I think it was the episode where we just start walking into the cave to look around, not really actually investigating, looked around. When we first came out, John got a little sick, and I was getting really bad sick. And as soon as we get out and it shows that scene where we're kind of sitting there on the outside of the cave, 2 seconds after that right there, I reach over and I throw up like crazy. I friggin' ate a huge meal, all this other stuff. But the craziest thing was I didn't hardly eat nothing. The only thing that I'd even ate that morning before we even came there to do that stuff was like a biscuit and like a cup of coffee. And the stuff that I was throwing up looked like a lot more. So that kind of, I mean, so, that was really weird that wasn't on there. But yes, to answer that question, yes, just different kind of stuff, just depending on situations, whether it's paranormal stuff, which is freaking weird when shit like that happens when I talk about paranormal stuff.
It's like,
but yeah, so turn it back off.
We actually
Okay, no, that was weird. So anyway, yeah.
We had that happen. We were in the Sally house, and it was before Ghost Adventures came, and we have a light that's going on and coming off. And, my daughter and Ron both did it. They go, well, turn the light off. And the light goes off. And then, okay, that's funny. And then the next thing you know, they're going, okay, can you turn that light back on, please? And the light comes back on. And it was doing this while I was doing a TV interview in the other room as well.
That's crazy.
And it was like, okay, that's
good stuff.
So just so you know, we're live tonight in Japan as well as Australia.
Oh, domo arigato.
So we have active listeners in both of those. And we also have an active listener usually in Glasgow. So Scotland. So hopefully they'll all be on there tonight. But you know what? We have a lot of people right here in America. So welcome everyone to the show. If you have any questions for Nick, please ask them in the chat and I will make sure I ask them. And if he doesn't answer them, I'll prod him to answer them.
I'll answer. I'm with you, sis. I'm with you.
Well, April, I don't know who's been bothering you for 2 weeks, but we'll figure it out. So, but maybe we can talk about that tomorrow on the other show. So, how did you get chosen to be on Curse the Bell Witch?
Well, at that time, right before they started to email me and stuff to try to get in contact with me, there was a lot of cases that I was involved with. And somehow one of the guys had mentioned about John. And because John is an actual, he's a relative of John, like he's a straight direct relative of that group. And where I grew up, I was born in Knoxville here, but I grew up in Laverne, right beside of Nashville. And that's literally right there below Adams, Tennessee, where the Bell Witch and all that stuff went on. And my dad had actually knew somebody that knew John that somehow ended up doing some stuff in that little mix that they ended up talking. John called me, talked to me a little bit, and then they had the producer guy call me after that and was asking me if I'd come out, either give them some answers or help them to do a full investigation. And I was like, let's do it. I'm ready, because literally, like I was saying, I lived in Laverne right there at Nashville, and it's only about 45 minutes to an hour away from where that's at. When I grew up, I heard about the Bell Witch my entire life. When I first was getting into paranormal kind of stuff when I was younger, when I I was that wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, just getting into it kind of stuff. That's one of the main places that I heard about all the time. I always heard about. I always wanted to go. So when they actually was like, "So you would like to do?" I was like, "Yes, let's go right now. I want to go." So yeah,
more like keep me away. Try.
That's it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. When it was time to be done, it was like, all right, Nick, you can go. You're done. You can go. No, I want to do some more.
Yeah. Well, I realized today that my grandmother or great grandmother, her name was Laura Lee Bell. And now I've got to find out if I'm related.
Oh, cool. Okay.
She was in Tennessee. So there is a possibility that we're related to the Bell family, but I don't know. Yeah. So I'm not going to say that I am, because I don't know. And right. April, since you're listening, it's on my mother's side, not my dad's. April's my cousin on my dad's side. And so, like I said, I'll find out for sure.
That's cool.
I'll just go to the library and look on Ancestry. I don't want to pay for that.
That's what I've been doing. There's a trick to that. I'll tell you. I'd actually I ended up using it and tracing my family like crazy far back. But what I do is I'll use the 2-week free 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
then go ahead and cancel, and they'll give you another 2 weeks eventually. So like I've just been like, I'll do 2 weeks like fully. I'll dig in like for that 2 weeks, work my ass off, find all kinds of stuff, and then done. And then I'll save all the files. So even if you cancel, like
Yeah.
all your files that you found and everything is still there when you do the next 2 weeks again. So like I've been like 2 weeks in it up, finding out where everything's at.
I've gone back on my dad's side of the family really far, but April had done some of that, so because she was interested on my dad's side of the family because her dad is a half brother to my dad. And so we were able to get that part done. It's the grandmother's side that I haven't gotten all the way done. And my mom's side is when you have names like Thomas, Thompson, and Myers. Okay, good luck.
Right on.
You're going to be digging because there's all kinds of misdirections with that.
Yeah.
You probably have the same thing with White.
It was a mess at first, yeah. Because there is a lot of whites, to be honest, in my little section. Like I spread out, like one to this way and one to this way. It's crazy how everything went.
In my family, I have my mom has double first cousins, so that tells you something there. We had a family member marry, on this side of the family, married a family member on this side of the family, and there was no blood relatives at the time, and now they are. So
yeah.
When you have double first cousins, you're sitting there going, grandma's brother married grandma's sister, and it's like, okay. And if I said that wrong, it's because I say it all the time. And so it's really weird when you think about it that way, that a Thomas married a Thompson and became a Thomas and whatever, it's, you need a scorecard to keep track of all this crap.
Right.
And so I used to tease people all the time. I said, I know my parents aren't related because my dad was in Lynchburg and my mom was in Saltville. So when they're in these two different places, they were not blood relatives. Now on my mom's side of the family, we can't say that. On my dad's side of the family, I don't know if we can say that either, but it is what it is, and but my mom and dad look like brother and sister. I don't know if you have that same issue, but my mom and dad did look like they were related. But again, we had to make sure people knew they were not related. I don't have webbed toes. I don't have anything like that.
No tail, none of that.
No little piggy tails in my family. But it's really funny when you think about your family history. How did you go about digging into yours? You just got on Ancestry and just started going, or did you use any of the other Ancestry type sites?
I'd use that, and then luckily, for some reason, my family is like really well known right here in English Mountain, and they have a book written about them not too long ago, which I thought was really cool. And it's the detail that they've done. Like a historian came around, they talked to my mom and dad. They went to like just everybody else. My uncles over this. She went everywhere, talked to everybody that you can think of. And there's about a book. I mean, this was luck, though. I mean, this is a lot of work that she did that I didn't have to do. So, like, literally, like, I'm in that book, in that big old mess of stuff that she's done research in. So I got to kind of get some of that out of there, trace a lot of that back. But there's a point to where she stops, where I got to get into Ancestry with and keep going a little bit further. I actually ended up going on further to where some of my family came from Ireland and Scotland. And then I even had some come from, I think it was Norway. So I've got kind of pretty much all the fighting countries and family. Like I've got Vikings, I've got the Irish and the Scottish. And then I'm also Cherokee and Apache. So I've literally got, I guess that's why I'm like such a, like kind of that protector guy, always trying to fight for somebody and, help them out, all that kind of stuff. I guess that's where I get it from, is all that ancestry of stuff.
I tell people all the time, I said, I'm Irish, English, German, and Indian, and I'm Cherokee and Blackfoot. And I said, so needless to say, I got a lot of people in there that like liquor and can't handle it.
Right. There you go.
And I'm a peaceful drunk. When I get drunk, I go to sleep. So,
Right.
But, it is what it is, so it's always makes me laugh about all this. And, my kids, they always ask me, Mom, what are we? And I'm like, you're a mutt.
Right.
And they go, are we Native American? I said, yes, we all are Native American. We were all born here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right.
So, you can go however you want with that. And, because, my Native American family ancestors, they find Native American to be offensive. They're better off. They like Indian better. They would rather be called Cherokee or Blackfoot than they would.
Like their actual stuff. Okay. Tribe. I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
And so, I've talked to different family members. I met a bunch of different Native other tribes in New Mexico, and they said they'd rather go by the name that they're called as opposed to, something else. I was like,
yeah, I agree with that.
So
I'm with that.
And April asks, what do you think about past lives?
I believe in them 100% because that's part of the multiverse theory, in my opinion. Everybody doesn't always learn everything they're supposed to learn when they're coming here, because there's more. Now, anything I'm going to say is in my opinion. I have done a lot of research in my 20 some odd years, so I'm just kind of relaying things that I've experienced or things that I've read. So I don't want you to think that I know everything. To answer your question, April, right? So you're the one asking. Okay, but I think it does have to pertain with the multiverse theory a little bit, because you kind of come here to learn. Because life and death, that's all human constructs. You're never dead, or your life, like all this stuff, it's all human. When you get here to this realm, this dimension, this universe, whatever you want, just there's so many different names what you can say and you can call it. But you come here and you'll learn whatever you thought that your higher self has wanted you to learn during this time, and say you didn't learn it, or you took your life to end that learning, or or you just didn't learn, or you want to learn more. Like you'll end up coming back, either learning what you were supposed to learn in the first place. So that's another recurring life there, being reincarnated again to learn again, to try to learn what you were meant to learn the first time. Or myself, I actually had talked to a past life regressionist when I was at a metaphysical conference, when I was a guest up there somewhere in one of those I states. I get them confused. But this fellow, I get them all confused sometimes. But this fellow, I was asking him about my back. I have a 35-degree curve in my spine. It's called scoliosis, and it causes my insides to kind of twist. And my whole body is like twisted sideways. So I have a lot of issues that I do, a lot of things like that, nerve issues, stuff like that. But he actually kind of asked me directly first. He's like, your back. Do you have a couple things with your back and stuff? I was like, yeah. How do you tell? And I got like a hump on one side. It's like so easy to see. I'm like, how do you tell? Because I always try to mess with them a little bit until I can figure out the real deal kind of people, any of them. And if they mess with me back, I'm cool with them and I'm good. But this fella, like he started to kind of get a little kind of more calm. He was calm talking with me, and he was like, no, there's something about 2 lives that you had to do with what you've got going on with both sides of your back. And I'm like, all right, okay, explain that to me. So I actually sat down with him. I was like, all right, well, let's discuss it. So he says, you have 2 past lives that you're meant to do something. You've already planned on doing something, but your past 2 lives were pronounced leaders, but one of them wasn't good. And one of them was great, but ended up being taken before he could finish what he did, is what this guy said. And then, so apparently that's why both my, if you see me in person, my left side, my rib on my left side pokes out a tad bit in the front. Mm-hmm. And then my ribs on the back on the opposite side poke out because that's the way my twist is inside. So he says, that's two sections. That's two different lives that you've had to try to learn from that you didn't. So you're here again to try to learn that again. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, I can't tell you that. But because I was like, dude, if you can tell me that, I don't have to go through all this shit again. And then I'll come back, I'll twist it up, and I'll be like a pretzel or something.
Basically, you're hard-headed is what they're saying.
Yeah. But see, so he was telling me, I was like, well, I mean, that kind of makes a little sense. But the thing about past life, I mean, I do believe in them. I think that is something that's got to do with multiverse, like I was mentioning. But as a true investigator that I am, I can't 100% say yes or no on that because there's no definitive proof or evidence leading to a solution saying that is actually something that this person or anybody is seeing that's doing that.
We can't
there's no way to tell that that's true unless now there are some I've seen, kids, that'll talk about stuff that they're talking about where they were somebody else and they're telling you exactly what happened, the location. They can tell you in a photo, like stuff. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, yay and nay, who knows?
We don't know. And that's what's really strange about it. And is it something that if we were asked about it when we were 5 or 6, that we could have talked about it and retained it?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it something that we can't handle it? We can't handle the truth. So we don't, and we never ask about it. And when we do finally have somebody who can tell us something about it, we don't believe it.
Yeah. Or it's, that's the people just being, it's what I always tell about people with abilities as well. Like everybody has abilities. Every single person has abilities. But the thing about that stuff is you get taught not to have them growing up. Because you get people saying, "Oh, whatever. Oh, you ain't here," and then all this. Yeah, you're crazy, or all this, or what? You get chills because you shut the window, stuff, whatever. But you get taught not to have them, and that kills me. That's why I always tell people when they have kids and kids are coming to tell them some wild shit, man. At least give them a 75% chance of telling you that's what they're really telling you, because they might be seeing what they're telling you. It may not just be something they seen on TV earlier, or a game or something. This may be something they're literally going in and looking at and seeing, because their innocence is already giving them an open door for these things to come and be around them. But then once their innocence closes as they grow up, then that door closes for them too. So it's just a matter of, man, just embrace what children are learning. Like if they love something, embrace that and grow it. Don't force them to go towards the direction that you want.
Right.
See what they enjoy, what they see, what they feel, what they hear, and grow that just like a seed, and make that thing grow like a big old sunflower when it's ready, and eat those sunflowers, because they're going to provide you with a lot of happiness. All those little sunflower seeds is going to be all over the place, happiness, and it's going to be fun. Hey, I like that analogy.
And I have a story to go with that. Just this weekend, okay? We were in St. Louis at Ron's mom's house, and in the cabinet, she has a little wooden ghost.
And she's got a bunch of knickknacks.
She's got a bunch of knickknacks, but I was playing I Spy with my little eye with my grandson, trying to calm him down, trying to get him focused on something else. And I said, Ruby, where do you see a ghost? And he points at Ron's dad's chair. Ron's dad died in 2019. He points at the chair, and I go, oh, okay. And I get a picture, and I go, what did the ghost look like? And I didn't put the picture in his face. I was just holding it. And he goes, like that. And it was Ron's dad.
Wow.
And
right away.
No hesitation. Right away.
He turned,
and the thing, and then, and after he said that, he ran off and started playing again. Like, okay, this is no big deal. I've seen
all
him.
good.
It's not a problem. Like,
right.
So
that's
I kind of
cool.
smiled, and it made Ron's mom so happy to know that Grandpa was there when all these kids, all the great grandkids were there, and that he got to see them, made her happy. But one of the things that I tell people with children that see stuff is, first of all, keep a diary for that child. Write it down.
Yes.
When they saw it, but don't ask too many questions, because when you ask too many questions, they do start making.
You'll lead them. Yep. Yes. You'll lead them.
You want them to tell you, write it down. And when the next time that they say something, you go, oh, okay. And then you can look at it and maybe then ask a question or two, but not to focus on it, because it will make that child focus on stuff. And I mean, a lady interviewed me at the mailbox about this the other day, a couple months ago. And because everybody in the neighborhood knows that I was on Ghost Adventures, they all tell me that we saw you. Right. And so they come to me and they'll ask me. And while I was talking to her grandson came up, he was 4 years old, and he started getting more and more outrageous with his story, because he knew that there was attention being focused on it. And I told her, I said, don't put anything into what he's saying right now. I said, because he's wanting the attention that he's getting from telling me this story. Mm-hmm. And she watched me interact with him, and eventually he got down to what he really saw and stuff. But like I told her, I said, don't focus on it, because if you do, I said, you're going to get some of the most outrageous stories, and you're not going to know what's true and what's imagination.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told her, I said, I don't disbelieve that he saw something. I said, I just disbelieve that he saw all this stuff he just told me.
Right.
I know that there's something in there that's true. Mm-hmm. And, it's like urban legends. There is some fact in every urban legend, and what it is not always up to you to decide. You've got to figure that out with the research that you've been doing.
Yep.
And so that's what I got to do now. I never even realized that my grandmother's last name was Bell until today. You want to know why today of all days? Not because I was interviewing, well, kind of because I was interviewing you, but because I re-listened to the podcast I did with John 5 years ago, to see if there was something in there that I needed to ask you about.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to call John and say, hey, do you remember this 5 years ago? Because he's not, He told me to come where he lives, though. He told me to come down there and check out where he lives. Because
yeah, for sure. Do that.
And I was like, yep, definitely we'll do that.
Yeah.
But he was so nice. This is a paranormal podcast. So talking about the paranormal wasn't in his wheelhouse.
Yeah. He's more military and police kind of stuff. Yeah.
And I would like to talk to him again, only because of the fact I love talking to him. He had so much information, and he said really nice things about you.
Oh, that's good. Well, I liked him too, so that's good.
And the stuff he said about Chad Higginbottom was great. I'd love to talk to Chad. He
dropped off like he disappeared after the show. I don't even know what happened to him, to be honest.
I don't even know if he's still alive. Because 5 years is a long time.
Yeah, God, he literally dropped off, and we didn't talk to me or Chad or me or John. So I don't. Yeah.
He's probably going, what in the hell did I get myself into?
I do keep up with my buddy Willie Windwalker Gibson, Willie Gibson, that does the Cherokee Shaman that was part of our show.
Yeah.
He's man. I love him. I love Willie.
I've heard him 5 or 6 times on both previous networks that I was on.
Yeah.
So I used to be on, I'm not going to give him any lip service right now, but I was on 2 different networks, and Willie was on the second network quite often.
Mm-hmm.
And he was always very interesting, has such good stories, and so focused, and for me, I'm never focused.
I get that way.
I'm everywhere. So,
I get to be Pretty Bird a little bit once in a while. Pretty Bird. Oh, squirrel.
Well, I mean, considering where you're at, you got a lot of squirrels.
I do have a lot.
And a lot of birds.
oh, honey, and I've got a farm worth of animals here now. I got let's see, I got 4 cats here. I got 5 chickens, 2 dogs, and then I got 1, 2. There's 3 more cats in there. So what's that? 4, 5, 6, 7 cats, 2 dogs, and 5 chickens. Yeah, all together. Now I need me a goldfish. Oh, That looks like Bruce.
I have
What's
5 cats and
Yeah.
4 dogs here
Yep.
right now. So I understand. And
High
you're
five. Yeah.
You're trying to get a monkey too?
Oh man, I'm just trolling Facebook. But I just but I saw the reason I did that. I have there's one of these guys that I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, different kind of just random everything, and I seen this one fella, and he had this little chimp. He had grew it up as a baby, and it was his buddy, and like he just doing all this stuff. So I just, of course, I had to pick on my mom, and I tried to tell her that, and she thought for a second I was for real, and me and my dad just rolled. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna post it on Facebook. So I put it on. But I actually looked it up, and that little monkey, you can actually adopt that monkey for $4,000.
Yeah,
But I was like, dude, there's no way. One of my buddies like, you're not serious, right? I was like, man, I have cats. There is no way that I could have a monkey with cats. That monkey would come in here and sling these cats around like. Then I just But no, yeah, I saw that, and I was like, I might just say, hey, see what people might think about it.
Knowing how much time you've spent and money you've spent saving animals, that's why I can believe that you would adopt a monkey, because you've had a cat with health issues that you had to deal with when she was a kitten. I think it was
two of them. Two of them.
And I knew that. Yeah. And don't you work? And when you were up in Reno, you were working for an animal clinic, right?
Yeah. Working for a doctor. Yeah, animal doctor's office.
So, and when you were up there, did you meet Michelle LeBaron?
Oh yeah, I've known Michelle for a while. Yeah, and we got to go investigate a couple places together. I love Michelle. Yeah, she's one of the funniest people to be around, man. And she always she'll like, no matter what kind of attitude you're in, if you just get around her, she just kind of lifts your like whole vibration up to top as you can get it, because I get tickled at her.
Yeah, and if you want the F word thrown at you a lot, she's the perfect person.
Me and her kind of. I'm prior military, so I kind of. You'd be surprised how mouthy I can. I've been kind of nice. I don't want to be too cussy on here, but I get kind of cussy when I talk to.
Well, I appreciate that, to be honest, because we do have some children who listen.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like to try to be PG.
But we investigated with Michelle in 2020. Was it 2020? Yeah. It was 2020 in Marshalltown, Iowa. Yep. She flew in for that paranormal conference. And
I think I remember that one. I remember she was talking about that.
Yeah, we were together in there. We were her co-leads, investigators, because apparently in Iowa I'm popular.
Oh, right on.
And so we went up there and we did that, and we had the best time. Yeah, but Amy Green was also there, and she got sick, and she had to leave.
Oh no!
And so Michelle left with her because Michelle was driving. So we ended up being there with all the people who paid, me and Ron.
Oh wow!
So, but it was fun. We had a great time, and we had a guy there whose friend was in jail and had hung himself in that jail. And we did not know this. Okay, this place had never been investigated before. And I go back in there and I start telling him, this is what I'm feeling. And the guy goes, huh? And I said, his name is Mike, and he hung himself right here. And he goes, how did you know that? And I was like, he's here. Right. And this poor guy had he was really upset because he never got to tell his friend goodbye, and he felt like it was his fault and all this other stuff. And we were able to give him closure. And
great.
Because all the stuff that I had told him before that was all true. He knew all this stuff that I was saying. And I was like, okay, I don't know anything, so I was just being a conduit at that point.
Yeah. Amy
was like, how in the heck? She goes, did you get all that information from this guy? I don't know. But let me
can I ask you a question? But like, when you do that, because I get similar stuff like that. When that comes through, like for you, is it just like you're just literally like talking to them, and then all of a sudden somebody's just talking through you for a second, and then you're done, but you're talking and you're telling these things. But is that how because that's how I kind of feel like when I get like I had this one girl at one of these investigations. I can't count it. I had so many now, but this one girl, I was talking to her outside, and for some reason, like immediately I started picturing her ribs, and like I'm even getting it now, picturing her ribs and the way that like there was something going on bad in there, and I was seeing black like stuff, like to the right. I'm showing over here, and I said, "Have you been having issues with your breathing or something like that recently, and all this kind of stuff?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "How did you know?" And I said, and then I kind of started, then all of a sudden it's just like, I'm just seeing stuff, but then I'm just talking. Like, it's not like I guess I said it weird. It's not technically like it's somebody else. It's just like, I'm just kind of talking as it comes kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like that. Is that how you, okay.
It's not like I'm not channeling or anything. And I'm not being possessed. It's like somebody's talking in my ear at the same time, telling me this is what's going on here. And did that woman have COPD?
I don't, all I can remember now is I remember she said she had to go to the hospital, and she was just, it was breathing stuff and ribs. I think she had, I don't remember, she had some broken ribs or something too, or it was a lot of something going on in that area. But I'm not sure, because
that's what came to me, was that she had COPD, but I don't.
It's black. Yeah, that's what I saw. That when like that's what I saw, like black. I'd see it was just, and then what I saw, like it was in my mind, like it was just like I could see like a torso. I didn't even see her face. It's nothing, but I could see a torso, and this was like a movie playing in my like right here in my top. It's just like a movie plays. It's like torso, black kind of stuff, and then a little red looking stuff on the bottom right. And that's what I was just kind of saying. That was when I was asking the questions. And then all of a sudden it was just like, whatever, after it was, I was saying, I don't even remember, but it's just like how that's how it'll come to me. And I'm just like,
Does that happen to you a lot? Do you see somebody like maybe somebody that you know has a health issue, and you look at them and you go, oh my goodness, I know that they have a heart condition. I'm actually seeing this aura, this color, or something in that area that's telling me
it's
more
that
about the heart condition. You know, sometimes it might be good for you to be around people that you know have health issues, and maybe you are like the lady I had on a couple weeks ago, or even last week. Maybe you're a medical medium.
Hey man, if I could help people that way, I'd love it. If you know me, man, if I could help anybody do anything, if I could do that, I would love that. Yeah, that'd be great.
I was telling everybody, you know, when I was advertising the show to our family over the weekend, you know, I said, I'm having this guy on. And I said that will, you know, basically give you the shirt off of his back if he thinks it's going to help you. And I said, he raised money to help a family at Christmas time pay their electric bill and some other things. And I said, I remember that and the cat thing, and that you'll help out your community where when other places can't, you know, because not always can they get government assistance fast enough to deal with the problem. Because I remember this one time you were helping a family that was getting ready to get their electricity turned off.
Yep.
And it was around Christmas time, and you guys were really cold that year.
You got that right.
I think it was back in 2017.
I remember them. That's a big family too, man. And dude, even that little area they was living in, I mean, it just, I mean, you know, they, you know, not saying it was bad, none of that kind of stuff. You know, they worked hard. They were, you know, they did the best they can do, and I respect them for everything they done, buddy. But it got to that point to where the gentleman is a lot like me and was kind of afraid to ask for help. And I kind of talked with him a little bit, just let, dude, it's all right, man. People have issues once in a while. Even the strongest people in the world have times that they need help. So if there's something that I can do, and then that's when the conversation come through, man, if this was this was this, and I was just listening to him, I was like, all right, okay, bud, well, let's see what happens. And then just, not too long after that, I went nuts, you know, doing all that stuff and tried to do everything I could. And we got them.
That was part of the things that made me appreciate you as a person was, you know, how much you gave a crap. You gave more than a crap about this family, you know, and a lot of people believe that they're alone, and you basically told this family that they're not. And one of the things that I was telling Ron today, you know, we've driven down to Gatlinburg so many times, and, you know, I've never really seen any subdivisions off the road. It's like they're way back in the back. Don't see houses. You see maybe a big house.
Yeah.
And then you don't see where the poorer people are living. In Sevier County, there are a lot of poor people, and they work for places like in Pigeon Forge that's seasonal at best. And you got Gatlinburg that's seasonal at best. And
big, huge season right there in Gatlinburg.
Right. And right now we know that the Christmas lights are up. They're doing all that, but not every hotel is open. Not every restaurant is open. I mean, how many pancake places can you keep open this time of year?
There's a few. they open like all in the mornings, and then they close usually about 2 or 3 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and everybody doesn't want to eat at Bojangles at the gas station. I'm sorry.
I ain't trying to do none of that. Yeah.
I like Bojangles because we don't have them. But
I got you.
And it was a business.
I like their biscuits.
Oh, they do. They have more biscuits than anywhere else now. Because Hardee's doesn't do it like they used to, where they had 7 biscuits for breakfast. But you know, it is what it is, you know. And you look at it and go, you know, these people are only working maybe 9 months a year, so they're like teachers, and so you're going to have people that aren't going to be able to make ends meet between Christmas and Easter.
Yep,
it's just is
a lot. There's a lot of like the restaurants and things like that to where you have, and then you've got, like you're saying, like these seasonals through Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. It's technically, you can call it a tourist county. Like you would say, hey, this is a tourist town. This is a tourist county, literally. Sevier County, from Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg are all based on tourism. And that usually runs, like, we'll have our, like you're mentioning, we have our Winterfest stuff, all the cool, you know, the pretty little lights, all that stuff, all through Pigeon Forge, all through Gatlinburg. And then everybody will come through, usually right before that, like during the leaves changing, and then they'll come for Christmas, and then you won't see another person until let's say, July the 4th. You might get a couple in that weekend, and then slowly, right before that is where they slowly start kind of trickling in, and then like maybe like the Julys and stuff. That's when they start doing, like, for the car shows are coming in soon, so we'll have that soon. Yeah, so it'll get crazy.
The best time to come is between May and June.
February and June. Yeah. February to June. Yeah. February. What is that? January, February, March, April, May, June. Those months. That's your peaceful time.
Yeah. I mean, I know the fires did a lot of damage.
Oh gosh, the fires. Oh honey, that's something else right there. That was just as bad as them over there. Well, I mean, it was bad. It was really bad, yes. But man, it's something else. I ended up, when I was at Nevada, I was there during those fires over there. Man, that's some scary stuff. I really feel for all them folks having to deal with that type of stuff. I mean, it's horrible.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm grateful that at least one of my daughters is out of there, that they don't have to deal with that air quality from Vegas, horrible. From all the fires from California. But all that smoke got to here in Kansas. We were having some of the most beautiful sunsets, but the air quality was so bad it was hurting to breathe. So it is what it is. But when you were talking about restaurants in Gatlinburg, there is a restaurant there that's haunted. It's an expensive restaurant. I don't remember the name of it. But
is it Brass Lantern?
That's it. So have you ever investigated there?
Yes, ma'am. I went through the whole of Gatlinburg, and literally just how, if you go, Miss Kitty, honey, you have to. Sorry. Just like if you go to, just like if you go to like Virginia City and pretty much all that's haunted, if you go to Gatlinburg, it's similar. The way that like, you know, like the Trail of Tears, things like that, all, you know, like that all pertain to this whole area where we're at. There was so much window, and especially up in the areas when you get up towards like the Smoky Mountain area, where I've actually got a video on my YouTube where I went to Elkmont the ghost town of Elkmont up there, and like that area before it was the ghost town. That's where like everybody used to come. Like how people say go to Colorado, to Aspen, that's where you go for the skiing. This is where people came back then for like all of your hunting and all your fishing and all that kind of stuff. And they had that big Wonderland Hotel, and it was music and all this awesome stuff. But then, like, even when that was going on, like all that was the Western stuff. Well, the Western stuff,
right?
Since this is the East, but all that kind of situation, all that stuff was going on through the mountains, and and then you have your moonshine things, like you have your hardcore guys up through here, and then of course then all up and down with some of this, even as some of that Hatfield McCoy's, that's even on down through that even had to. So you have everything that has happened that has left an imprint here on Gatlinburg and that whole area of Smoky Mountain stuff, where anywhere you go, just about literally you can sit down with an EVP session and pick up a couple words and just like, what? Where, I don't even know where I'm at now, and I'm picking up stuff.
Yeah, because I saw that ghost town on some show. No, it wasn't a show. I did some research and I found it that you can hike up there and you can hang out up there.
I went up there just not too long ago with Jay Lynch. Jay Lynch and Teresa Lynch. That's good buddies of mine. They come up, and I was taking Teresa up around to get. This is where I get a lot of my quartz. I was actually going to show you guys because I usually This is where I usually get like my quartz.
Oh, okay.
See, like these really good pure quartz and stuff.
Wow,
that's I get that up there near Wonderland, and I actually got this one and the few that I got for Teresa out of a creek there. And they like, even right now holding this, like it makes my hands tingle. And it's something like these specifically, and I've got a few that I kept. That's crazy how that does that. And I have it like I usually sit my stones out for like under the sun or under the moon or something, just to like the gamma radiation for the moon or the solar radiation from the sun to charge them up. I haven't set this thing out in probably 2 months, and right now I will put it on my other hand. Right now, literally, when I hold it, 3 seconds in, it starts tingling my hand. So there's something about these quartz that I find up there is really cool. But anyway, I digress. We come up there, and I've got a video that I've got that I'm editing together that I'll have on YouTube, where we went through detailed of that location, and I lucked up and got to meet a guy that actually he grew up. Him and his family lived in one of those houses, and he grew up in one of those houses in the ghost town before they all were gone. Wow. So like I have an interview with him so you guys keep an eye on YouTube, Nick T. White on YouTube. Check that, because it'll be something else. The story that he was telling was just so cool to learn about the way that things happen and stuff up there. But there's just so much stuff that's there. There's even apparently not too long ago heard about a smelly monster. So there may be like Bigfoot stuff. Cliff Barrickman was up here not too long ago. We talked to him. He was up here in Gatlinburg doing a convention, apparently on an investigation too, because even that stuff is like happening. And then there's UFO stuff happening around here lately. That's like kicking up lately. And I'm excited as crap to start looking into some of that and put that on video, real stuff, and actually having it. Man, I'm so excited for that kind of stuff.
Oh, sorry. Did Boating Bigfoot make an appearance?
Yeah, actually, yeah, sure did. Right there in the middle of Smoky Mountains, sure did. And the video of him, is it still? Yeah, I think it's still on Jay Lynch's page. But there's a video from where he left some marks and some things around that we actually got some video and photo of.
Yeah, I have a picture of me with Jay in Marshalltown, Iowa, and I've interviewed him. I don't know how many times at this point, and I love him and Teresa. They are such good people, and I'm glad that you got to spend some time with them. And
I love them. They're family to me. I've known them.
They loved a friend of mine very much, and so that made them important to me when my friend Rick Rose.
Oh, my boy. I love Rick too, man. I used to game with him, man. He's something else.
Yeah. He used to well, we used to pick him up on our way to the Sally house and had him volunteer with us.
Right. Yeah.
Because he tells everybody, Denise got me in that place. And so he would come and he would help us out with the daytime tours and stuff. And he would get pissed off if anybody would say anything negative about me.
He's something else, man.
I
remember the first time I got to meet him. He was just wild and crazy, and I said, "Betty, you and me are awful lot alike," because I just run around crazy too that time. Oh man, that's something else. But yeah, for sure.
I remember.
I missed him.
There's a long story behind all that, but we always had a great time every time we were together, and then when he moved to Ohio, I missed him so much, but I was so glad he was there with Jay and Teresa and with his grandma. He got to have those memories, and it's just amazing. So we have another question for you. I'm going to ask this question from Steve Foster. He goes, what are some of the experiences while investigating the Bell Witch Cave?
Oh, wow. One of the craziest ones was the main sentinel that we ended up catching. When the stuff that it shows on the show, like we only go so far back on the show, but there's another whole room, like a whole room and a whole investigation that I really wish they'd have put on too, because me and Chad both got grabbed on our shoulders at the same time when we're standing up against a wall. That's here, I'll tell you this one, because this wasn't on there, and it still blows my mind to this day that why they didn't put this on there, because it validated when him and I both had the experience at the same time. We were standing up against it's the same area. When I was talking to him, I talked to John, and then that's where the scene shuts off, but we actually walk on back to this next room, and there's a flow stone back here, and this is where we even heard like a lady like kind of scream like kind of thing back in the far back. When we're standing, me and Chad are standing our backs to the stone wall, and the stone wall here I'm looking like it's behind me. The stone wall behind had a little bit of a gap, about that much on the very bottom of it, so there was air and stuff like that coming through there. Well, me being me, I just get into places I shouldn't sometimes. But I get down in there and I'm just looking, see if I can even crawl under it just to get back there, which I probably shouldn't even done that. But I couldn't fit all the way back, so I was like, all right, I can't get in there. So I was like, dude, that's pretty cool under there. And then me and Chad stood. We leaned up against the rock because we were at this kind of resting moment. We just so we leaned up, and him and I both, same time. It literally feels like somebody was just reaching up, kind of grab to turn me around, like if they was just like, hey, hey Nick or something. Him and I both at the exact same time was like, whoa, 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 like this. And I said, what happened to you? And he's like, dude, something just grabbed me on my shoulder. I was like, bullshit. What? I was like, something just grabbed me on my shoulder, pulled me around, and like this whole situation was going on, and that wasn't on the show, which blew my mind. Because to me, when more things happen at once, or like if you got 2 or 3 things happening at the same time, different things, like say you got 2 different people, or you say you got 3 or 4 different tools doing the same, something's happening, something is going on. So I have no idea why that wasn't on there, but that was one of the coolest, the whole things of that cave, and it blew my mind that they didn't do that. That was one. Next time, while I was talking about the woman voice, when we're, I don't want to try to spoil anything if nobody's seen but when we're in the cave doing investigation part, at one point, some stuff's going on because this is the last episode, so I want to try not to spoil this if everybody hadn't seen it. But some stuff's going on while we're all together in a section there, and you'll see me kind of just squatted down, just kind of hanging with the crew, just kind of watching out and everything. I've got my bright blue shirt on. Watch my face, because during that time, I literally, and I look back and I look over at Chad when it happened, but I literally heard this scream in the far way back in the back, and it was just like a like this, and you see me when I hear it on camera. You see me notice it. I was like that, and I look over to was it Chad is over there? Yeah, Chad was over here because some other stuff was going on with the other group. I look at Chad, and he looked over there, and it's like, and then there was something going on in the far back, and then even that was, so there was a scream that wasn't on there too. So like that's actually a couple things that wasn't even on the show that was pretty cool.
Did that get picked up by the camera, the sound?
I don't remember if it did or not. Honestly, I really don't. But
that might be the reason why it wasn't.
Maybe. But you see me.
You're being paranoid.
Right, but you see me. I mean, I react, and you see that moment that I react, and I just look right over like this when that stuff was. But there was something at that time going on that something could have happened that could cause that. So I mean, but I don't want to spoil that part because that's stuff like that goes on. There's always something that could happen anyway. That's pretty profound stuff. So it could have been because of that was going on. Or it could have been something that was already there at the cave, but
it sounds like chaos was happening to get crazy. Attention diverted from something.
It was crazy. It was nuts. It really was.
Because I've seen times where something's happening here and something's happening here and something's happening here, and it's to draw your attention away from something that maybe you need to do. Maybe it was something you were supposed to see at the time. So we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come right back. So Carl's going to play a couple little teaser things, and we'll be back.
Hi, everybody. Brandon here, host of Shaman Sundays. Join me every Sunday as we discuss everything from the paranormal to self-healing. We'll sprinkle in a couple of fun guests along the way. Show airs 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central every Sunday, right here on the Bill of Rights Network. #born. Join me, won't you?
For the past 6.5 years, Paula and Gavin have traveled the U.S. to investigate the mysterious, the unknown, and the paranormal. They were always outsiders, only able to experience events through their own eyes. On their next journey, they joined forces with 6 investigative paranormal teams across the country to explore their local legends side by side. Join us as we learn the stories, meet the teams, and gather the evidence to determine if these tales are truth or legend.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rex.
And I'm Shane.
We have a new show on the Bill of Rights Network. It is called Music, Movies, and Maybe More.
We explore bands that we've heard of that a lot of people haven't, that we feel like you should know about.
And we do the same with movies. There's a lot of movies out there that we know about that other people should know about as well.
And as for the maybe more part, you never know what else we can come up with.
So, on the Bill of Rights Network, every Saturday night, live at 7 p.m. Central Time, Music, Movies, and Maybe More will be on. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you there. Now we'll return you back to Paranormal Pride and Denise Pridemore.
Welcome back, everyone. And Nick, I'm going to have to end the show. We have a family urgency that's happening right now. My granddaughter is not doing well, and she was just recently in the hospital. But I want to get you rescheduled and get you back on here because I would love to talk to you some more because, I've been trying to get you on for 5 years at this point. So, but I need to go see what's going on with Clover, see what we have to do there. But thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight on the Paranormal Pride. Where can everybody find Nick White?
Well, I'm doing a lot of stuff now. You can actually see me a lot now on Twitch. I'm doing a lot of streaming now. Not only will I be doing games, but I'll be doing live paranormal and UFO investigations on there as well. I do a lot of stuff on YouTube now, content creating as well as with the paranormal and gaming, things like that. I'll have a podcast myself coming soon, so I'll be talking about that very soon. You can also check me out on Twitter, Instagram, at Case of Darkness, TikTok. Definitely look up TikTok and check me out because I'm crazy. So you guys have fun with that. At Nick White CTD. And easiest way to look me up, just go to Google, put in Nick White Paranormal. It'll bring up all kinds of craziness. And say hi to me anytime you want. I'll talk to you. Twitch is Nick White CTD, Charlie Tango Delta. Nick White CTD.
There you go. And April will be probably following you before we say goodbye.
I'll be on tonight, so come on, hang out.
I will be sending you a message to try to get you scheduled again because I really want to talk to you more.
Yes, I'd love it.
Sorry, I'd like everybody to tune in tomorrow night.
No apology necessary.
Tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central to the Bill of Rights Network for Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal. And our guest is going to be Alex Matsuo. I love her very much.
She's awesome. Yeah, Alex is fun.
She is, and she's no BS, and that's the reason that I like her. And she just recently got married, so I'm going to have to figure out what her new last name is.
I forgot to.
So we'll enjoy that, and make sure you guys are looking forward to December 2nd and 3rd with the Born No Travel Required SuperCon right here on Bill of Rights Network. We have a couple spaces still open, but otherwise we have full schedule for you guys for the 2 days. And remember, it's free. We want you just to come, have a good time, sit back and relax. And if anybody's out there that wants to join as a vendor or a speaker, let me know and we'll get you scheduled. And it'll be fun. So right here from 5 until 10 on December 2nd and 3rd, I know you're probably going, a virtual Paracon. How in the heck does that happen? But I'm going to make it happen.
That sounds fun. I think it'd be cool.
It is. I think that it's one way to get people to go who can't normally go to one, especially in the wintertime when it's cold and crappy. So, but join us here next Monday for the Paranormal Pride and whoever I have scheduled. I know I have somebody scheduled. I have booked through the rest of the year, so I know I got somebody. So join me next week and make sure you check out all the other shows on the Bill of Rights Network. And thank you, Nick. And everybody have a good night.
Absolutely.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.